Hello, welcome to Free Mind 360. So here I am to explain you the Fado, because it is not just a kind of music. So okay, that is a slogan, and maybe you think, oh, okay, why it is not just a kind of music? Yeah, even I had have to learn it. So I must you also explain who I am, because it was a way. I born and raised in Germany, and I speak much better German than Portuguese. But both of my family are, are Portuguese, so I get the surrounding of the Portuguese culture at home, and everything else around was German friends and German people. So I get the difference between the languages. At the same time, I begin to understand the Fado much more. At the same time, I understand that it's difficult to think over or that subject in German. So, but okay, I grown a little bit up, and I get experience. I get more mature. I don't know if it is right. I told so, and I get some experience, and I get some knowledge. So I was interested in history and philosophy. So like a lot of you was maybe interested on different subjects to understand the world. So and so I always look if I could found it in the Fado. Not always living normal, but sometimes I hear again Fado, and then I get some experience or knowledges, and then I was looking. Oh, okay, that is interesting on that view. So, and with the time, I get it much more. I think so. At least I can tell you that I understand that the language barrier is nearby too hard to understand the Fado. Even when you are foreigner and learn the Portuguese very well, maybe you don't get. And even some Portuguese didn't get it. So they mostly get it, but some just don't interested, and when you are not interested, you don't get it. So you are so in a right position to get it. So we have a lot of things what brings you to the track. The first is, maybe you understand that I have also sound that is a difference between the language. So we have to speak first about the language, the Portuguese language. So and then we must begin in history, because even there's a difference between Spanish and Portuguese. So some people think, oh, this is quite the same language. So no, the grammar of Portuguese is quite different, and even the logic between the words are completely different. So um, so when I think in German, and maybe you as English speaker, you have the one word, and it if you want to explain something similar, you have some part of this word in the next sentence, and they have this logic. But Portuguese is not like that. Portuguese is, I want to say, uh, it have its emotional logic, and emotion have its own logic. To explain is very difficult. Maybe some historians could tell it, or linguists. So, but I think I know where it comes from. So you must know that Portuguese, the Portuguese language, was growing on the fifth or the sixth century. Uh, yeah, after born of Jesus Christ. So, and that was maybe 100 years, 200 years after the Roman Empire. So just short time between. So, and the tribes who was there was the tribe or the language was there spoken. There was the Roman Latin, and there was also a tribe who was Celtic. So it Portuguese was mixed with this both, and this mixed Spanish didn't get it. So, but even for all Europe, because the Roman Empire was destroyed, begins the Dark Middle Ages, because there's no recognized, no one writes something of history, so we know nothing. That's why we talk about the Dark Ages, beginning on the 4th century or 5th century. So on that time begins the language to grow, the Portuguese, with a mix of Latin and the Celtic languages. So it get maybe the more complicated grammar from the Celtic, and is also under time the people don't get worth of the Roman foundings, like engineering and making street. Nobody cares about, and nobody think that is very important. So the language grows on a time it was more important to get nice, to get an artificial language, and so it makes a good beginning for the Fado. Oh yeah, we talk already for the about the logic. So sorry, I get it before. It have its own logic. So and then yeah, this is maybe you get it when we come to reaction in a few minutes, and maybe you must just keep it in mind. And think over that because I will I will in this video is a reaction, and I have the original Portuguese lyrics written, and above them I have the translation in a way that people understand. It is a good translation I made by myself. This is not just make from some translator who was just translate books or something like that. No, I translated the Portuguese in the think of the song, but under that I have also the explaining of the different song parts or lyrics parts, because that is already mixed with the instrumental and with the logic of the Fado, and even with the language, and that why that why I made that, because you get it only in once. so then let us to also explain that musical instruments are very important on that music. So we have normally in a good Fado, in a classical Fado, we have different deepness of Fado. So there's some Fados, there's maybe just music, but there's also some Fados, they need a lot of the support of the instrumental. And then we have a very special guitar that is called the Fado guitar. That is really an instrument for this kind of music. I didn't saw it in other musics, so, and it is very difficult to play instrument. It have 12 strings, and bow and is in pairs. So there's two strings with the same note, but a whole octave difference. And it is played in par. So you play just you play with the finger up. You play one, and you play just in the same moment the second, and then you get a very special. You have a lot of expression you can make with this kind of instrument, and it helps a lot to understand fado. So it is very important and that you hear of the instrumental of the people. So sometimes the instrumental are much more important than the fadista, the singer of the fado. So just when you use the both, you can get it. So then let's talk about the philosophy. So the philosophy of the fado is that we can okay. Maybe you will get it. This song, what I react now, is not that complicated and text, but normally you can in lyrics. Normally you think of a good book. If you get a good book, maybe a little bit classic book, and you see some nice sentence, and then you see, wow, that is a good idea. That is a thinking over. I must think over. So, and then when you read just that, when you are a little bit intellectual, maybe you think, okay, that is my view of it. I see that the writer have want to scribe to bring me understanding of the topic, and I get a lot of this understanding. But I know maybe the text, even if it all also intellectual, they see a little bit different because they have a little bit different experience, or maybe he's more intelligent, or more, or have more, or have some things in his life who makes other views possible. So, but the fado is a bit like that, and much more at the same time. The fado can be like the lyrics are, give you this information, like other musicians do also have good lyrics with good thinking, but the fado can give you also the feeling to it. So the feeling and the lyrics. And the correspondent, the joining of it, you get feeling on that time the song was wrote, and what the singer or what the instrument player linked to it. So you feel it completely. You feel that you understand them completely. So without a doubt. So I want to now go to the reaction, sirs, ladies, and then I will say nothing. Just look on the translation, on the explaining, and please regard the instrumental, and after that we talk again. So here we are.
Perguntei a um fadista qual a sua devoção, apontou-me uma guitarra e bateu no coração. apontou-me uma guitarra e bateu no coração. Nasce o prazer de um desejo, de uma ilusão outra igual, de um sorriso nasce um beijo, de uma lágrima um coval. De um sorriso nasce um beijo, de uma lágrima um coval. Eu rezo muito baixinho por alma de minha mãe, uma guitarra chorando reza por ela também. Uma guitarra chorando reza por ela também. Há muita gente que diz que um fadista é desgraçado. Eu julgo muito feliz por saber cantar o fado. Eu julgo muito feliz por saber cantar o fado.
So, yeah, I thank you very much that you're still here and hear me talking. So that was a father who's talking about himself, yeah, like the first video I made. This was also a father of itself, so introduce. So that was a father what is made for so the first fado I made is it was the link between the audience and the singer in general, and now it is what I want to say. So I can't explain. So, oh, this is maybe a good solution for you to write me in the comments what you think, what you did understand of this fado. So I think that's also the fado. The only song music is which could explain themselves, or some music that make that. So and then I want to explain on the end why I have this channel. You will get maybe that is different kinds of stuff in that channel, and maybe I beginning more to make further explainings between different music, because it looks like I'm the only one who make it because of my experience. So I will try it, and that is the thing what the people want to see on my stuff. Nobody interested on. Okay, well, I will explain you why I have this channel. I have this channel because I want to get experience, like my answers, my history, because I'm Portuguese have sailing around the world. So I want to take my motorbike and drive. So I have buy an old motorbike, 40 years old, an Goldwing GL 1100, and I preparing my trip 2019. So I give the house for rent, and then came 2020. They came to know the people come in my house. I want just to change and resolve everything, and then found just a room, and then to begin to trip to repair my motorbike to the end and everything. So and then came Corona. I didn't get a room to live in. My motorbike was still in the restoration, so I have to go. I have a house in Portugal, so I come to Portugal, and my motorbike was not finished. I have no motorbike anymore, so I'm here 2 years and with no target. So, but I'm good. I have the rent of the house, so I can survive. It's no problem. So that's why I make different things. Now I found something you are interested in, and I'm this subject in this channel. So tell me more, and I won't tell you also more. Have a good evening or good morning, like you at the time what you want to see, and yeah, bye.